the down the line view, we can see some good angles, but we can also see a couple of problems. You can see that the right knee is actually in a little further than the left knee, because you can see the left leg on the other side of the right leg. So there's a little twist going on there that could be causing a problem somewhere in the backswing. The spine angle is pretty good. It's going up right up through there to 1 o'clock. We draw a line down the hips, so you can see the hips are a little too far back, which means he needs to get his weight just a little bit more towards the arch or in front of the ankle bone. The hands are hanging freely from the body right into the lower chin, and the chin is up. Not a bad setup right there. When he takes the club back, it should stay to the outside of his hands. It's coming a little to the inside there. And again, like most of our amateur golfers, we end up with the club well inside the hands at the midpoint, or the point where the club is parallel to the ground. Over and over again, I reiterate that we need to have the club in that circle on the backswing so we can reroute it to the inside on the way down. Let's see him go to the top of the backswing. A little lifting there. And then what happens then is we lift and then we come over the top. And you can see how the hands are coming over the top, and they're probably going to end up outside of the circle on the way down. He's pulled back. His spine is no longer at 1 o'clock. As a matter of fact, it's going up there, just inside 12 o'clock a little bit. So he's lost his spine angle. His hands have come up, and now we have this straight line up here instead of that 144-degree tour angle that we look at for the hands. The hands come down, and then the club's at about this angle, about 144 degrees is what we look for. Something like that anyway. Let's get rid of those. Now let's turn him all the way through to the finish. Notice he didn't quite get his pivot there, and the club ends up exiting really low. He flips the club around himself. He isn't able to get the finish that he'd like to get, and he's a little out of balance. Now this is a golfer that's, I'd say 7 out of 10 times has a much better swing than this, but he needs to get that mindset that allows him to do it 9 out of 10 times, or maybe even 99 out of 100. He's that good. Here in the down the line view, we can see that the shoulders of this golfer are aimed considerably further left than the feet are. And you can see the lower part of the lead arm inside the trail arm, and the left arm inside the right arm. That's generally a setup for kind of a hook or a slice. So when I watch the club go back, what will happen here is as he gets back to about here, the club's going to dart pretty much to the inside along that line there, well in behind. Theoretically, the club should never pass your butt. If your butt was up against the wall, you should be able to swing and not hit the wall. So we see that this golfer goes way too far to the inside, and then he comes over the top right there. Instead of dropping the hands down to the inside, comes over the top, promotes kind of a slice or a push, which is what he did here. So we need to reroute that club a little bit more to the outside on the way back and the inside on the way down. From the caddy view, we see a very strong and athletic setup here. The hands are in a great position. Take a look there. See how nicely they are ready to go. I would like to see the right foot be a little bit more perpendicular to the target line. But all in all, that's a really good setup. Now let's watch the takeaway. We're going to see a really nice wide takeaway, very athletic, posting up. Just a little bit of a hip sway outside. Like to keep those hips inside the foot line, but not bad. Little raising there at the top of the backswing. She didn't need to go that far. But what we're going to see is a very special position right as we come into the impact zone and through it. How nice and long the arms are through the impact zone to a great athletic, balanced finish. Very good swing. Here we can see a typical problem among the amateur golfers is at setup. The shoulders tend to point one way, generally to the left, and the feet point to the right, which creates an imbalance and a pretty tough way to swing. We also see that the hands aren't parallel. If we look up close to these hands here, you'll notice that they're not parallel at all. That you've got the palm of the right hand kind of facing upward and the palm of the left hand facing backwards a little bit. We'd like to work on that throughout the swing. The next thing we're going to try to look at is, does he stay within the box that he creates at his setup? That's the box, and we want to turn that box around its center axis as we go back. What we'll see is instead of turning around that center axis, he's actually going to lean and sway. Let's move into the shot here. There, see the big sway off the shot. In order to get over the right side, he actually moved his lower body outside the box. One good thing here, he has a nice straight lead arm. No club lag to speak of, but a nice straight lead arm and some good width in the swing. So he starts back down to the ball. He's getting a good rotation of the lower body to about here. Then the lower body quits turning and he uses his arms, ends up scooping the shot again, where we end up with the palm of the right hand pointing to the sky instead of pointing up. Instead of pointing down, the left wrist needs to be flat. We can see a huge bend in the left wrist here. So let's keep on moving here, right on through to the finish. The right foot never lifts, never rotates, never gets up on the toe. Right knee doesn't get anywhere near the left knee, and he doesn't end up balanced over the lead side here where the green line is. Things to work on. On the down the line view here, we see great posture, well balanced, hands in a perfect position. But we'll see a flaw early on in the backswing where she's going to rotate her left hand over the top of her right hand within the first few inches of the backswing. See that right there? That's bringing the club off plane and also getting the left arm really disconnected from the upper part of the torso. Club ends up way to the inside. Again, it needs to be right there. We talk about that all the time. So we're going to continue on back. She ends up with a pretty good position right there, but she's lifted a little bit. Now she's lifting a little bit more. She's lost her spine angle. Got a great arm position. The club is parallel, or the face of the club is parallel to the lead arm. Very strong, posted up solidly against the right side. Let's see if she drops it down to the inside or comes over the top. See, she's doing a pretty good job of coming down with a little crunch, bringing that club back down to the inside. Good swing from the inside, out. She's fell off her plane here. Remember, at setup, she was on about this angle, and now she's pulling almost straight up and down, turning on through it. Very athletic, very strong swing. Just a little minor ballerina type things. We got to get her staying in a little balance, a little forward position, more athletic. We'll work on it. Here we are on the down the line view. We've got a pretty good setup. I didn't mean to do that. How did I do that? Oh, interesting. Got a pretty good setup here. Take into account straight up, straight out. A couple of good sets right there. I like the way that looks. Hands are in a good position, neutral. Notice though that the feet are pointing pretty far out here to the right. I'm sure his target is more down this line here. So that's where his shoulders are lined up. So let's see which way the ball goes. Got to take away that's going, again, too far to the inside, not straighten back the line. The club at about this point right here should be where the hands are. So it's quite a ways too far inside. Going to rotate up to the top. Pretty good position there. Notice how nice and flat his hands are at the top of the backswing. Pretty good flat left wrist there. Moving into the impact zone, coming down. Turning the club over. A little bit of a scoop, not too bad. Turning the club over nicely. Not getting a lot of forward thrust with the hips and the pelvis, so he ends up stuck kind of on this back foot right here. We'd like to see that rotate more, and so he shows his spikes at the finish. Pretty good finish all in all. Not a bad swing. This is what we call the down the line view. So we're going to take a look at her hip alignment. Ankle bones right over the hip. We'll draw a line up her spine angle, up through her head. That's a little too upright. That needs to be more towards 1 o'clock, about 30 degrees. That would let the arms hang down a little bit more, and this line here wouldn't be quite so straight. We want about a 142 degree angle here. There to there should be about 142 degrees, and we'll see that's not even close to that, 144. Let's see how about our takeaway now. Generally, when we're set up like this and our weight looks like it's shifted back towards our heels, the club's going to come dramatically around this way and go to the inside too far. So let's just see what happens here. Let's see what that sweep looks like. By golly, there it goes to the inside too far. So what we have to do is at this point try to get the club more out in front of you, not around behind you so far. Go to the top of the backswing, a little bit of lifting there. But look at that great athleticism there. The lifting was caused by the right knee here. If we can get that right knee to stay a little bit more stable, that's going to be wonderful. Good position, straight left arm and left hand. Notice that the club face and the forearm are directly on parallel lines. Wonderful position right there, very athletic, very much a golfer's. And look at the nice downswing, bringing that knee back into play again, coming in a little bit to the outside. Club should be a little bit more inside than that, but not bad. Coming into a good position. Now the reason it's going a little to the right is because she's leaving the club face slightly open, and the club path is a little cutting across it, creating a table tennis cut serve through the shot, pulling the elbows in instead of getting extended down the line. Great top of the backswing. We just need to get you to swinging a little bit more out that direction instead of pulling the club in. Nice job.